Dr. Lisa Kelly is a music therapist from County Galway and is the co-founder of Anam Music Therapy, a social enterprise which aims to provide accessible music therapy to those who need it the most. Lisa graduated with an MA in music therapy in 2020 with first-class honors. She recently completed her PhD in April 2023, which explored how telehealth music therapy can support people with dementia and their family caregivers living in the community. So over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Kim. It's so lovely to be here today. As Kim said, so my name is Lisa, and I will be discussing some of the music experiences available for people with dementia and their family caregivers who are living in the community. So we know that there are many ways that people with dementia and their family caregivers can engage with music. However, often distinction between these music experiences is often blurred, and choosing an appropriate experience then can be a challenge. So often many music experiences are labelled as music therapy when this is not the case. So I thought today I could focus on maybe describing some of the various ways that you can use music to support the person with dementia and the family caregivers. So first of all, I wanted to talk a little bit about why music. So why use music with people with dementia? So scientists and neurologists have found that music stimulates more parts of the brain than any other human function. And it's relatively well known that many people living with dementia retain the ability to sing familiar songs, not only the lyrics, but also the musical details as well. And we know that music can relieve stress and anxiety and make us feel good. And also we know that music is a very valuable tool in assisting people with dementia to connect with their identity and life history, acting as a springboard for reminiscence. So I love this quote from the neurologist Oliver Sacks, who says, "Music evokes emotion, and emotion can bring with it memory. It brings back the feeling of life when nothing else can." So I always like to describe this as, you could imagine that you're driving along in the car and the radio was on, and all of a sudden a song comes on, and you're transported back to that moment in time, and you have the vivid memories maybe associated with that song. And depending on how meaningful that song is for you, you also might be able to feel the emotions that are attached to that song as well. So that's what we're really trying to tap into when we are using music working with people with dementia. So I just wanted to show you this quick diagram. So it shows you the brain at rest versus the brain's reaction listening to music. So there's no main music center in the brain, but rather widely distributed neural networks that share functions with speech and language production, cognition, and also motor skills. So for example, this might be why when someone has a stroke, that they still have the ability to sing perhaps when they're not able to speak. So moving into some of the various music experiences for people with dementia. So there are many ways that we can use music. That might be music listening at home, maybe on the radio, or the creation of individualized playlists. And we have such a variety of music available to us now, thanks to technology and applications like Spotify and YouTube. Going to concerts, and also group singing and dementia inclusive choirs. And we really have seen the rise of these here in Ireland over the last few years, particularly during COVID, where a lot of dementia inclusive choirs were online. And also music therapy, which I will be going into a little bit further shortly. And I suppose it's been also mentioned throughout the presentations this morning about other experiences that are available. I know there's a program called Musical Memories, which is run by the Alzheimer's Society of Ireland, and we also have many of the singing for the brain groups as well. So what is music therapy? So music therapy is an evidence-based profession where music is used to support individuals to either improve, restore, or maintain their health, functioning, and well-being. So Research indicates that for people living with dementia, music therapy can promote social interaction, reduce social isolation, reduce anxiety, responsive behaviours, and also encourages reminiscence and stimulates cognitive function. So I think sometimes it could be hard for us nearly to describe what music therapy is, but it's nearly easier to describe what it is not. So music therapy is not a person living with Alzheimer's disease listening to an iPod with headphones of their favourite song. Again, that can have therapeutic merit, but it's not referred to as music therapy. Groups such as bedside musicians or musicians on call, sound healers, celebrities performing in hospitals or nursing homes, piano player in the foyer of a hospital, nurses playing background music for their patients, artists in residence, or perhaps maybe a secondary school student playing guitar in a local nursing home. Again, I think it's always so important to emphasize that all of these music experiences are very worthwhile, and depending maybe perhaps on the stage of your journey with dementia, but I think distinction between the music experiences is also very important. So thinking about what makes music therapy different to some of these other experiences which I've just described. So music therapy works to provide person-centered dementia care. So when I'm working with a person with dementia, for example, I'm really working on validating their sense of personhood and promoting their identity. And I'm always trying to draw upon the person's life story. So, instead of, for example, if a normal musician might go into a nursing home and that they might sit in the corner and they play some music, where a music therapist would come in and they would have completed an initial referral and assessment, gathered information about all of the various residents, their favourite songs, some of their background history, and the sessions are tailored to meet those needs. And we're always focusing on the person's ability, so matching the person's level of awareness and their ability. So we really focus on meeting the person or people where they are at, so whether they might be verbal or non-verbal, and thinking about their level of cognitive decline. The focus is always also on the development of a therapeutic relationship. So this is very much central to the music therapy process. So rather than playing music for the person or to the person, we're playing and making music with the person. Music therapy is also goal-orientated. So, for example, we use music-based methods to achieve non-musical goals. So, for example, we might liaise with speech and language therapy, occupational therapy, or physiotherapy, and we can work on similar goals through music therapy. So, for example, I've linked in with physiotherapists where we're looking at how we can use music to assist with physio and to maybe get more movement and motivation, for an example. So I wanted to talk about also maybe how you can use music at home, whether you are a person with dementia or you're caring for a loved one with dementia. So something that you can do at home is creating and using playlists. So, for example, you can create a playlist of significant songs from the person's life and songs from their childhood and early adulthood. I always encourage people to use music appropriately. Oftentimes we can leave the radio on in the background and it's continuously playing and it loses its effectiveness. So purposefully turn on and off music, so if you're not listening to it, for example, because it can become overstimulating. Then also thinking about musical markers, so using different songs at different times of the day. So for some people with dementia, certain activities of daily living can be stressful, whether that's getting dressed or bathing, etc. So using a familiar song when you're doing these activities can also be very beneficial. And also to really encourage that if you are using music within your care for a person with dementia, to be aware of their reactions. So noticing when certain music or songs encourage either positive or negative reactions. And just, I suppose, some considerations as well if you are going to use music recreationally at home. Music can sometimes be harmful rather than helpful. So it can be overstimulating for some people. So to carefully, I suppose, monitor what you're playing and also perhaps the volume. And to be aware that music can sometimes trigger negative emotions or memories. So we hear fantastic stories about music and reminiscence and encouraging happy memories, but just to also note that that can trigger negative emotions sometimes as well. So I want to bring your attention to the diagram here. So this is an output from my PhD research. So I was very fortunate to work alongside people with dementia during my research, and some of them are here today. So that included Kevin Quaid, Helen Rashford-Brennan, and also Jerry Paley as well. So we created this document together. So as Kim mentioned, the focus of my research was telehealth music therapy to support people with dementia and their family caregivers living at home. So we really wanted to see how we could support people with dementia and their family caregivers who might not have access to community support services. And this could be due to geographical location, if they're living in quite a rural area of Ireland, whether they have mobility issues or increased cognitive decline and are no longer able to attend the supports that are in the community. So we worked on that together for over the course of 3 years, but within that as well, we also had many discussions about the various music experiences that are available and how do we know which support to choose, and how do I know when I need music therapy. So we developed this guide, so in consultation with the PPI contributors and also senior music therapists working in dementia care settings, to create a guide for people with dementia, their family caregivers, and also care workers as well, in deciding maybe how music can be used to support them. So, and I think over the last few years, it's really shown us the importance of online supports as well as in-person supports. And so it's really important, I think, to provide both in order to provide a comprehensive model of care that can meet the needs of those who may not be able to access in-person services as well. So oftentimes people come to me within my work wondering, well, where can I find some of these music experiences? Where do I look? So I wanted to really signpost that today as well. So there are 3 organisations which I wanted to direct your attention to. So the first is Sing Ireland. So I think it was in the last year that a Singing for Health map was launched by Sing Ireland, and this was in association with researchers from the music therapy department at UL. So you can go into this map and you can select your county, and it shows some of the various choirs and singing experiences which are available, some of them which are specifically for people with dementia, for example. Then if you're looking for a music therapist in your area, I would recommend that you look at the ICAT website. So ICAT stands for the Irish Association of Creative Arts Therapists. So music therapists are trained to master's level, kind of, I suppose, and their training is based on, music and psychology and developing the therapeutic relationship. So it's always important, if you're looking for a music therapist, to ensure that it is through ICAT. And then lastly, if you could have any questions, you are free to contact us here at Anam Music Therapy, where we would be happy to answer any of your questions. And we also offer some online trainings, and I've been very fortunate to deliver some of the virtual dementia cafes here with Engaging Dementia and also the Alzheimer's Society of Ireland. I also wanted to briefly touch on this music therapy group for family caregivers of people with dementia. I suppose a lot of the focus on today's presentation was, I suppose, on people with dementia, but also a lot of our work is also supporting family caregivers as well. So this is an online group which is run by Professor Hilary Moss, who is the course director of the MA Music Therapy at the University of Limerick. And she has been providing online support to family caregivers of people with dementia and using music and mindfulness techniques to support people and provide some coping mechanisms that they can use throughout their week. So Hilary's email is here if you would like to sign up. So it's hilary.moss@ul.ie. So it's my last slide, but Kim, do I have a couple of minutes? Because if I do, I wanted to share one last video. Yeah? Okay, so I was talking briefly there with Kevin Quaid, and so I wanted to finish off my presentation with a video. I wanted to finish off my presentation with a video clip. So, as I mentioned, I've been working alongside Kevin, his wife Helena, Helen Rochford-Brennan, Carmel Gagan, and Jerry and Nuala Paley as well as part of my research. And we had such a fantastic time co-researching together that I really wanted to capture this somehow, and the importance of, I suppose, public and patient involvement, but also collaboration in working with people with dementia. So I suggested that we would write a song about our experiences, which we did, and it was absolutely fantastic. And the group performed this live at the Irish World Academy of Music and Dance at UL there at the end of March. So I want to finish off with this really positive note, you know, that I suppose that we're encouraging people with dementia to continue to be themselves and support them in their community. And I think this song really demonstrates that. So here we go. I hope this works.
Photo captures a moment in time and a lifetime of memories. It helps me remember thoughts forgotten, reflections of what used to be.
We will tell everyone.
Thank you so much for listening and for your time. And I will pop my email in the chat here if anyone would like to contact me. Thank you so much, Kim.